This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and you know it. I'm here live to break down some breaking news across the world of professional wrestling. We're back with another Big Tyme Rants on the Big Time. This is the value of wrestling. We thank you for joining us on YouTube. We're going to discuss it. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, QT Marshall, AJ Lee, Randy Orton, all this type of news, everything going on. We're going to discuss it. Come back, join me, won't you? Oh, you didn't know? Well, you better sit there and get ready because we're going to discuss it. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to get into all the details about stuff that's going on with the world of professional wrestling. The biggest news in wrestling history in a long time broke Saturday night at Survivor Series when people had their doubts, when people thought, no, it's not going to happen. We've been told time and time again it was going to happen. And we just assumed that that was going to be the cold, hard facts. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It is done. CM Punk has returned to the WWE. When we say never, they say nope. Watch this. Hold my beer. And WWE and CM Punk have come to terms. Not like the whole time that a lot of reports, but it was like November 19th. This thing started working. And then the day of Survivor Series, CM Punk signed his contract, rejoining WWE after almost 10 years gone from the WWE. And last night on Monday Night Raw, we got to see him return on Raw and give a speech. And so much more. Now, that speech, for some people, it wasn't what they wanted. For other people, it made sense. And if you take it the way it's meant to be, I think you understand and see what we're getting into. Randy Orton is going to be on Smackdown. We're going to get some Randy Orton on Smackdown. Randy Orton opened Raw this week with a great promo. Very great promo. He returned to help out Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn in War Games, being the fifth member of that team, coming out and helping them get the win. And, of course, Randy Orton is here to pay receipts to the Bloodline. Could Randy Orton be headed to a match with Roman Reigns for the Universal title, possibly at the Royal Rumble? Is this a storyline that WWE is going to be built to? That may be the direction we're going. That may be the way everything is going to go. Randy Orton may take on the Bloodline and maybe go one-on-one with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and that should be a really good match, a really good storyline, a good build. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with Randy Orton. We know Randy Orton's going to be on SmackDown this week. He has already been reported. CM Punk, not yet. No announcement that he's going to be on SmackDown, but we'll have to wait and see. Could possibly happen, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. AJ Lee, no news really much on AJ Lee. AJ Lee, April Mendez, April Brooks, married to CM Punk. We know she's out there. It never made sense for her to really make an appearance in AEW, but it would be a real honest, awesome thing to see her come back to the WWE and even her herself, quote unquote, come home. Maybe this year she will be the one that gets to go into the Hall of Fame. I think it would be a good year to put AJ Lee into the WWE Hall of Fame. WrestleMania weekend. I don't think it's time for Punk, and I don't think Punk's signing a Hall of Fame contract or a legendary contract. But why not put AJ Lee into the Hall of Fame? She's definitely earned it. She definitely has her spot there. I think this could be a great story. She can get involved a little bit. Maybe you bring her back for the Women's Royal Rumble for fun and old time's sake if she's in shape and wants to do it. Otherwise, I definitely think we need to head towards an AJ Lee getting into the WWE Hall of Fame in the class of 2024. What are your thoughts? Drop your comments below. Does AJ Lee deserve a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame? Should she be inducted this year or next year? This upcoming year in 2024 and at the WrestleMania weekend? Should that be her time to shine? Should we get AJ Lee inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I think it's a yes. I think it's an easy yes. I think it's the right way to go. I think there's a lot of stories you can tell there and build it up from there. So, in other news coming out of AEW, everything's kind of scatterbrained in AEW. Tony Khan has lost his way. QT Marshall has resigned from his VP position. He was a part of creative. He was part of talent relations. And it's a lot of it is since Cody left, QT Marshall's direction is just falling apart. There seems to be a divide in the direction that AEW is going and what some people think AEW should be doing and what other people think AEW should be doing. And QT Marshall, one of those people that just decided that him and AEW are not on the same path. And so therefore, it is probably better for him to walk away and find other places that are going to be able to use him. And he's a good buddy with Cody Rhodes, so there's a possibility that QT Marshall could wind up in the WWE. Will this be an on-screen character? Who knows? But he's got a mind for the business, and we can definitely see how it plays out behind the curtain. Maybe he could bring some assets. Maybe he could bring some great storylines. Who knows what he'll do, how it'll play out, or where we'll see QT Marshall next. But it looks like QT Marshall is out of AEW. A lot of people may be looking to get out of AEW, and I think at this point in time, Tony Khan needs to sit down with his roster and get to the point and go, we're going to start a new era after World's End. Starting in the new year, starting in 2024, we're marching to a new era, and if you want to be a part of this vision, a part of this trajectory, a part of this company, then let's do it, and let's get our heads in, and let's give our best every single time we go out there. If you don't want to be here, you don't want to be a part of this, if you don't like the vision, if you're unhappy here, then let's cut ties. Okay, Tony? It's time to stand up, man up, and say, you know what? There's people that don't want to be here. Let's get them out of here. No ill will. No ill will. No bad words. Just if you don't agree with the way we're going with this company and you want out, then let's let you out of your contract so you can go make money elsewhere, because there's plenty of places for everybody around to make money if they want to. And I think it's time for Tony Khan to sit this roster down and go, do you want to be here or not be here? Do some of these people maybe want to go to WWE? Possibly. Is that bad in some ways for Tony? Yes and no, because right now Tony Khan and AEW is not competition for WWE. They are not on the same level, and AEW is getting buried. And it's like, okay, you can let some of these people go. If an Andrade El Hilo is not happy with his current forecast and wants to get back into WWE, you let him go. Let him go somewhere where maybe he can be used and benefit, and he can make money. You know, why spend your money on somebody who doesn't want to be there when you can go find somebody who does want to be in your company and spend the money on them? So I think AEW and Tony Khan need to sit down and have this long discussion about who wants to be there, who doesn't want to be there, who likes the future vision of the company. And Tony Khan definitely needs to decide what that vision is. What is this company going to be? Where's it going in the future? They are completely lost. They don't know what they are. They don't know who they are. And they don't know where they're going. And that is not good for anybody. Could it be doom and gloom for AEW? If they don't get a direction and get it going, they're going to slowly lose fans. When you have a big jump like CM Punk, and when CM Punk left Collision and Collision ratings went down, and now all those people are buying for that are just diehard CM Punk fans that they're going to follow him anywhere. They're going to be watching WWE TV, which is just going to help bolster WWE's numbers and could lead to a lot of things. The question's going to be, what does AEW do? What does Tony Khan do? Tony Khan needs to draw the line in the sand and sit down as a boss and start at a kind of a refresh. Try to get back on task. Say, this is our vision, this is what we want to do, and this is where we're going. If you want to be a part of it, great. If you don't, then let's get into your contract. Let's let you get out of here. Let's let you move on to your better endeavors. But we'll switch each other the best in your future endeavors, and hope that you can prosper somewhere else, making good money and doing what you want to do. And I think that's where Tony Khan needs to go from here. Find out who wants to be in the company, who has this vision, who is a part of this vision, who wants to make AEW the best AEW possible. Can AEW beat WWE? Not right now. They are not real competition to WWE right now. And with TNA coming back and playing that game and going, hey, we want to be competition, TNA is going to be more competition for AEW than AEW is going to be competition for WWE, and that's where Tony Khan needs to focus on, because he's got competition ready to nip at his heels, and he's got to figure out how he's going to fix it. How he's going to fix AEW, and how he's going to get it back on track, and how he's going to get things going in the direction he wants it, what he thinks is best for business, what his people around him think is best for business. And people who don't want to be a part of that vision, they need to go, Tony, and it's okay. They don't need to be there. You don't need to hold them there. You know, they can go somewhere else. They're going to make money. They're going to be fine, and they don't want to be a part of your vision. So don't hold a grudge. Don't be upset at them. Just tell them, hey, I wish you the best. If you go to WWE, I hope it's awesome and amazing, and let them go. You can build with what you have, and then once you get to the platform where you can feel you can do something, then maybe we can start talking about competition. But right now, Tony, you're so far from being WWE competition, it's not even funny. All right, it's been reported for whatever stupid reason that there was a 30-person committee in AEW that decided what CM Punk's fate was going to be. 3 people came together and discuss what the fate of WWE or what CM Punk's fate was going to be. Now, a committee is basically that they get together, they have a discussion about whatever the situation is. In this case, what is the proper disciplinary actions for one CM Punk? One of those people that was on the disciplinary committee was Bryan Danielson. So Bryan Danielson picking up a lot of flack because he was part of this committee that would have came together and probably discussed the possibilities of what options they had to do with CM Punk. And one of those being letting CM Punk go. Firing CM Punk with cause is probably one of the options this committee came with. And there may have been several different. There may have been a suspension for 1 year, a suspension with a fine, or a suspension without pay. These people would have came together and had a lot of discussions, and everybody would have put in their piece, and a lot of options may have been laid out and then voted on and then put forth to Tony. These are the options we think are going to be best. You know, if you want to go this way, this is one option. If you need to go this way, this is what we think our best option is. And Bryan Danielson was a part of this committee, and this committee decided that CM Punk needed to be released. They needed to fire CM Punk. What are all the details in that? I don't know, but I don't think Bryan Danielson needs to get flacked on. I don't think he needs to get attacked like he is on social media over being part of a committee where he's been entrusted to be a leader amongst the locker room in this idea. He was chosen amongst the peers to be somebody who's going to be a voice that's a reasonable voice that people can depend on and trust on. I think that's what Tony Khan did. Tony Khan knew he can trust Bryan Danielson as much as he said. If he can't be there, you know, let Bryan Danielson do the booking. Tony definitely trusts Bryan Danielson, and that's probably why he was part of this committee, because Tony Khan trusted his opinion to be true and be honest, whether him and CM Punk are best friends or not. In the end, Bryan Danielson was a part of this committee that eventually was the reason that part of the reason that CM Punk was fired. Ultimately, the decision was brought to Tony Khan. Tony Khan being the boss. Eventually, he was the final deciding factor on what was going to happen, and firing CM Punk was going to be the best option and the only option for AEW at that time. Whether we like it or don't like it, it's the only one that really makes hardcore sense. Anyways, so there's that. I don't think Bryan Danielson needs all the flack for what happened. It is what it is. CM Punk is better off for it, and it looks like CM Punk is happy to be here in WWE. We have a very different CM Punk than we've ever seen before. Very somber, a very real CM Punk. I wonder how much of Phil Brooks we got in this CM Punk. Now, like my colleague said last night on our Raw review, we got more of a mature CM Punk. And I think CM Punk is very happy to be home. And we can't wait to see what's going to happen with CM Punk. We know that the facts are pretty much presenting themselves that it is probably going to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. This is probably going to be his first major return feud. And that's perfectly fine. I think this is the right feud. There's a lot of story there. And we'll have to see how it all plays out. I think Seth Rollins playing the I don't care, just going to blow off CM Punk is the right way for him to go. I think CM Punk taunting and poking the bear is going to be a very interesting dynamic, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. But CM Punk gave a great promo. We know that he's had his past. I think he's learned. We're here now, and he's definitely going to be the future going forward. It's also being reported that CM Punk was paying tribute to Bret Hart in his promo. We know CM Punk's a very big Bret Hart fan. He opened the line with "Hell froze over" when he opened his monologue on Raw, and really set the stage. And we got a really somber, real honest Punk. Punk's here to have to do what he does best, and I can't wait to see what Punk does, what direction he goes, and overall, again, I think you have Punk and Seth kind of bounce off one another. I think you have Seth continue to avoid having anything to do with Punk, trying to avoid giving Punk any type of title shot, just trying to stay away from Punk as much as he can. Punk showing to have to win the Rumble to force Rollins to give him a title shot, to get in the ring with him, to meet him one-on-one, and I think this is the proper direction for this feud, to start this feud off, and I think it's going to be really great. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. This is what you're getting. The same weekend you should be inducting AJ Lee into the Hall of Fame, and we're going to have an amazing time and an amazing ride going into 2024. We're almost there. We got to get through the holiday seasons, and then bam. It is going to be an amazing time. And if you haven't got your new CM Punk shirts, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's being announced that they're pretty much sold out. Back order, way back. Can't wait to see when these shirts came out. I know I got mine ordered the night of, so can't wait to see when these shirts come out. Can't wait to see them. CM Punk was wearing them last night. That's going to be awesome to represent CM Punk when that shirt comes in. Also reported as the last bit of news here, before we get out of here, before we call it a night, Triple H was not on Raw last night due to other issues going on. Doesn't seem anything personal. Just seems like other business was taking place. But Triple H will be back. Can't wait to see SmackDown. Will we get to see CM Punk on SmackDown? Don't know. We know Randy Orton's going to be there. But it's going to be a happening time. CM Punk back into WWE. Whether you like him or you don't. Whether you like that he went to AEW and now he's back in WWE, whether you're an AEW mark, a WWE mark, at this point we all have to sit back and see what this ride's going to take us on. WWE is making moves. WWE is the number one wrestling company in the world right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling is a great company, no doubt about it. They do what they do in their way, in their world. But WWE is the dominating force in wrestling today. AEW is way behind them now and is going to have to focus on how they rebuild AEW to be successful for AEW, not to be successful in competition with WWE. And the bigger factor to make sure they stay ahead of TNA, because TNA is going to make a run for AEW's spot. And they have people there. They have a staff there. They have, Scott D'Amore and the wrestlers in this roster. And these group of people are hungry and desire to be competition. And with the attitude they're coming at it, that's what scares me for AEW, is that they're not watching their backside trying to chase WWE. TNA may come up behind them and knock them out of the water and shift the direction of professional wrestling. If Tony Khan and AEW aren't doing what they need to do, and they need to focus on themselves, focus on repairing it, cutting back on the roster. If there's people that don't want to be there, let's let them go. Let them go. And the other thing for AEW, they need to focus on building their next big talents. Getting Ricky Starks out there, making sure MJF feels important, and any of the young talent they have in that company that they want to invest in and believe they are going to be the face of AEW in the future in 3-5 years down the road, because that's what's key. WWE is already presenting a huge roster of stuff that's coming at you. We know Cody Rhodes, CM Punk are probably going to start leading us into the next era of professional wrestling. We know we have guys like Gunther, Bunsen Reed, Chad Gable. These are names that are there that are coming up. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. There are a lot of names that are existing in there. We've seen the Creed brothers rise up. They're the whole echelon of people like Trick Williams and Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes. There are names that are brewing. Braun Breaker that are brewing in the WWE, NXT, in their developmental, in all these areas that WWE is getting ready to present to the world. They're doing the right thing. They're on the right direction. We just need to get AEW to get on their own direction, doing their own thing, focusing on them, and bringing the best AEW that they can. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Big Time, I've talked too much. I've talked too long, and you know it. But that's okay. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for taking time out of your day to sit here with me and listen to me talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. It's been a minute since I've been here with the Big Tyme Rants, and I'm glad to be back and being able to do this. I will be back tomorrow night with a Dynamite live review with Mr. Clark. We'll be here, so make sure you have that bell rung for notifications, so when we do go live, you'll be notified, or when any ever new content comes up. I do want to do a flashback wrestling real soon. Just trying to figure out what the next one is. We talked about Fall Brawl 93. We talked about the very first Survivor Series. And now it's time to figure out what the next one is. We're not necessarily into Rumble season, so I don't know if I want to jump into a Rumble season. Maybe we need to look at something that's happened in December. It could be an interesting time. But if you have ideas, drop them in the comments below. Share your opinions, share your thoughts. Just be respectful to one another when you are in the comments. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We are marching to 1,000. We are sitting at 139, and we need everybody to join. We need everybody to subscribe. Please share this out with friends, family, and everybody you know that loves the world of professional wrestling. The good, bad, and ugly is always here. We're always going to bring you the very best. We're always going to put out our best content, and we're always going to be here for you because this is what we do. We appreciate those who are supporting us, and we appreciate your support as we continue forward. On the Big Time, this has been Big Tyme Rants. Let's get out of here.